About a 5 or 6 minute walk from my hotel was Tokyo Tower, which is a popular landmark in this area. Tokyo Tower is located in the Shibuya area and is a communications and observation tower that resembles the Eiffel Tower. I decided to check it out. This was my first activity since arriving in Tokyo. This 333-meter structure was completed in 1958, designed by architect Tachu Naito, who was taken influence by the Eiffel Tower in Paris, and it became the tallest tower in the world until 2012, when it was overtaken by Skytree, also in Tokyo. I managed to take a really cool photo where I did a bit of a pose that represented the Tokyo Tower. After that, I had my first ever ramen experience. It was not too bad. After getting lost for about 4 hours, I finally made it to Toyosu to check out teamLab Planets, which is a modern arts facility that utilizes digital technology while you wander through what looks like an interactive art experience. This was then followed by a night in Asakusa, which offers more of a traditional experience of what Tokyo once was. Having struggled understanding the train network on my first day in Tokyo, I decided to spend my second day getting used to taking trains around the big city. My first destination was Shibuya. Shibuya is one of the busiest areas of Tokyo, housing one of the 2 largest train stations in the world. There were many shops in the district, including this guitar shop, which had 7 floors. There were some really nice guitars. There were many claw machines, capsule machines, and arcade areas. I did not play any of these games, but it was interesting seeing what some of the prizes they had on offer. However, it did start to get old after a while because there were so many. I eventually made my way back to Shibuya Station, even crossing the Shibuya Scramble Crossing, known as the busiest pedestrian crossing in the world. This led me to the statue of Hachiko, the famous Akita dog who was remembered for his loyalty to his owner. Waiting for him at Shibuya Station from 1925 after his owner's death until his own eventual death around 10 years later. I then jumped back on the train to the next destination, which is Shinjuku, another busy district in Tokyo. I got away from the busy area and decided to check out Shinjuku Gyoen National Garden. This large park area can be viewed for 500 yen, around $5 Australian. It had a large pond, greenhouse, and many trees, including ume, which are plum trees, which at the time I thought they were early blooming sakura, cherry blossom trees. This was inside the greenhouse. I enjoyed my time at the garden. It was a peaceful atmosphere, and I took my time walking around the whole garden. These trees were very popular amongst tourists. A lot of people were taking photos next to them. Next I had a bento box for lunch. After eating lunch, I returned to the train station. The next destination being Akihabara. Akihabara is another major shopping district and is the epicenter of shops that sell anything electronic and pop culture. Already up to this point, I had seen so many claw machines that sell the most ridiculous prizes, from soft toys to figurines, real-looking AK-47s and chicken nugget keyrings. Nearly every shop in Akihabara had at least one section that had claw machines or an arcade game section. There were also so many capsule machines where you could try your luck at receiving small collectible toys. I did not attempt either a claw machine or a capsule machine. I was just happy to look around. There were shops that sold all kinds of pop culture figurines, such as Pokemon, Dragon Ball, One Piece, Naruto, Godzilla, Ultraman, Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, Sailor Moon. The list goes on. There were so many. There were also anime and manga shops, but my favourite were the old retro video game shops that sold Famicom games, Super Famicom, Neo Geo. I even saw a 3DO console. I also saw games for the PCFX, which was only released in Japan. I quite enjoyed my time here. Today, I planned on visiting Yokohama, which is in the Kanagawa prefecture. This was my challenge for today. However, along the way, I decided to visit Tokyo Imperial Palace. The Imperial Palace is located on the former site of Edo Castle. The site is now a large garden surrounded by moats and large walls that once guarded Edo Castle. Edo is the former name of Tokyo and was the period between 1603 and 1868. The moment I entered the garden, it became evident that I had come to Japan way too soon in the spring. There was also a small room that had a small-scale model of what was once Edo Castle. The castle was built in 1457, however was sadly burnt down in 1863. This image was comparing the sizes of both Himeji Castle and Matsumoto Castle. I can imagine the real thing would have been impressive to look at. After I had a decent look around the garden, I then headed for the exit and then made my way to Tokyo Station. Tokyo Skytree is a broadcasting and observation tower. From the moment it was built, it has been the tallest tower in the world ever since. Ascending the top deck, was my next activity of the night.
Next up is the Tokyo Skytree Temple Deck, floor 350.
The Skytree can be a bit expensive, so it's not for everyone. However, if you would like the highest view of Tokyo possible, it is the Skytree that is going to provide that. Today is my last day in Tokyo. The last couple of days I've been travelling to other prefectures. However, on my final day, I wanted to check out the remaining places I wanted to see in Tokyo. First was the Tokyo Dome. The Tokyo Dome is not only the home ground for the baseball team, the Yomiuri Giants, but it's also a major venue for concerts and other sports. My association with the Dome is with pro wrestling, with New Japan Pro Wrestling hosting the annual Wrestle Kingdom every 4th of January. The roof is an air-supported structure that gives it an egg-looking appearance. But what also makes the venue interesting is that it is next to its own amusement park with a Ferris wheel and a tower that drops riders from 80 meters in the air. There's also a hotel, shops, spa. I spent a fair bit of time here. However, I had to move on to the next place, in Ginza, where I had reserved a ticket to see a Kabuki show. Kabuki is a traditional Japanese theatre that has been around for about 400 years. Unfortunately, cameras were not allowed during this act. Before the show, I had my own personal tour guide who explained a lot about Kabuki to me. All the actors are men, including those who play female character. In this act, there were actors who were played by a lineage of men in their families. She showed me the cast, and there were a couple of families who had 3 generations performing together. Children would practice with their fathers and grandfathers until when they become an adult and their sons would fill in their old role. I also learned why actors wear white face paint. It is because back hundreds of years ago, they did not have the sophisticated lighting that we have today, and the rooms were generally quite dark, and the only lighting they had were some small skylights and candles. The white face paint made it easier for the audience to see their facial expressions. After having a look around the museum, I then decided to check out the Ginza area of Tokyo, which is a luxury high-end shopping district. Next, I took the Yokohama train, which is a driverless train, which took me to the next destination, Odaiba. Odaiba is a shopping and entertainment district that sits on an artificial island in Tokyo Bay. The main attraction in Odaiba is perhaps the Rainbow Bridge that can be seen from the beach itself. For dinner, I had takoyaki, octopus dumplings. I stayed in Odaiba for a while, late enough to see it during the night. This concludes my 6 days in Tokyo.